Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to start a new series. I don't have a name for this series yet, but it's basically just me doing my makeup and reviewing episodes of cartoons or just regular TV shows. Today I wanted to do the episode Gray Matters from Braceface. It is the racism episode, which almost every cartoon or a lot of cartoons have. And I wanted to do this episode just because there's so much wrong with how, just there's so much, everything in this episode was wrong from a writer's standpoint, from the way this, it's just all wrong. So I wanted to get down, because I have a lot of thoughts about it. I want to sit down and talk about it. If you have any suggestions for the name of the series, please let me know, because I'm desperately trying to find a name. I can't think of anything. I hope you guys liked the video. Hopefully it is both informed. Oh, another thing I wanted to say, the lighting, I got new lighting a while ago and I haven't figured out a way for it to look good. This setting I think is the best setting personally, but I figured this out in the last minute of me recording, so the rest of the footage may look super blue, really washed out. I'm gonna try and fix it in editing. Hopefully I'll be able to, but I think this is the setting I'm gonna stick with from now on. So hopefully we won't have this problem anymore. Hopefully this will be the last video of crazy lighting, because I know my last few videos have had just terrible lighting as well. So hopefully you guys like this video and I could do more of these, because I actually had a lot of fun recording this. But thank you guys, and I hope you see all the BS in this episode that I did, because it was ridiculous. So today I'm going to be talking about the Canadian cartoon Braceface. Braceface aired on Teletoon in Canada and on the Fox Family Channel in America. I think the Fox Family Channel maybe went from Fox Family to, oh wait, no, I'm thinking of ABC Family. So I don't think the Fox Family Channel is even a thing anymore in America, but I haven't had cable in a very long time, so that I might be completely wrong. But it ran on Teletoon in Canada and the Fox Family Channel in America, and it was on TV airing new episodes from 2001 to 2004. Some of the places I saw said it ran from 2001 to 2006, but that just might be the way the episodes aired in different countries. The show is about 14-year-old Sharon Spitz, who in the first episode she gets braces, and throughout the course of the show she discovers that her braces have this electric charge which causes her problem. Like in the first episode, she was interfering with phone calls. She could hear people on the phone upstairs in the other room, and in another episode it caused her mom's car to turn on and she went on a joyride around the city, which was really bad judgment on her and her friend's part, considering the fact that she was only 14 years old. But we're not going to get into that. So even though the electric charge is a big part of the plot line, there are episodes like the one I'm going to talk about today where she's just going through regular random stuff and her braces aren't really that big of a problem. So in this episode, we're talking about the episode Gray Matters. It is season 2, episode 9. This show isn't on streaming, like very on the popular streaming sites like Hulu and Netflix, but you can get the free, completely free app Tubi and watch it there. That's where I started to watch it. And when I was going through a list of cartoons I should watch, I came across Braceface and I was like, oh, I very vaguely remember that. So when I saw it on Tubi, I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna watch that. And then I got to this episode, the racism episode. And so in the beginning of the episode, Sharon and her best friend Maria are sitting at a basketball game at their school, and Maria's talking about how she has a crush on one of the players. His name is Cloud, and he is a big, I don't want to say that he's depicted as taller. He's depicted as a taller Arab guy. He has longer hair, like he seems like a cute guy. And Maria's talking about how she has a crush on him, and you know, how she's never had a boyfriend before. Maria's like, well, some of our friends and the whole team are going to Life Cycles, their local smoothie shop slash laundromat. Do your laundry and get a smoothie at the same time. After the game, they're gonna go to Life Cycles and do some laundry and get some smoothies, and she invites Sharon to come. And Sharon's like, no thank you, my grandfather's actually coming over from America and I wanted to see him and I know that he's cooking tonight. So, you know, Maria's like, all right, that's fine. I'll just come over to your house after life cycles and I'll tell you all about it. So Sharon gets home from the game and her grandfather is in the kitchen cooking Italian food. He's singing his little blah, 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 blah. Like he's singing, having a good time. And he's making spaghetti and meatballs and some sort of pie. I can't remember. I didn't write down in my notes what kind of pie it was, but he was making some sort of pie. He's like, oh, I'm making spaghetti and meatballs for dinner. And Sharon goes, no, thank you. I don't want any meatballs. I'll just have the spaghetti because I am a vegetarian. And Grampy goes, first of all, let me backtrack. She calls her grandfather Grampy. That is the most annoying thing I've ever heard. I'm sorry if you call your grandfather Grampy, but that's very fucking annoying to me. He's going to be revealed to be a racist. So I can make fun of the fact that she calls her grandfather Grampy. But Grampy says, oh, you turned cuckoo. Like you're crazy. Like I leave for a couple of years and I come back and you're crazy. You're cuckoo. Just because she's a vegetarian and she doesn't want to eat the meatballs. Which is the first sign of some BS. Let me finish my eyebrows and then come back. But this is the first sign of some closed-minded BS from Grampy. So after Maria and Cloud are done at life cycles, they go over to Sharon's house like they said they would. And Cloud seems super nice. He seems really, really into Maria. And they're just like chilling in the backyard or their like driveway garage area. And they have a basketball hoop. And Cloud just starts to play with the basketball. And Sharon and Maria are talking like, oh my God, do you like him? And she's like, yeah, he's so cute. He's so nice. Like all that 14-year-old girl bullshit. And Grampy comes outside. And he's like, hey guys, who's this? Like, hey Maria, who's this guy? And he's like, I'm Cloud. And Grampy goes, Cloud? What kind of name is Cloud? And he goes, oh, that's just what the guys on the team call me. My name is actually Muhammad. And this is where the racism starts. He goes, Muhammad? He asks about, you know, he jokingly throws in his little racist comment about the harem. And if you don't know what a harem, I feel like I'm pronouncing that right, but I am not entirely sure. If you don't know what a harem is, I'm not extremely educated on it, but I think it is a separate part of a house or a separate house where the women of the family sort of stay in Middle Eastern Muslim cultures. It's basically a group of women who are tied to one man. So that could be like multiple wives, that sort of situation. I'm not extremely educated on it, so someone can definitely correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but when I looked it up, that's the definition that I saw. So he asks about a harem, like, are you keeping your women together? Like some bullshit like that. And you know, Cloud seems kind of bothered by it, but he's, you know, making his witty remarks back. He's not letting it be shown that it's getting to him. So he says something along the lines of, well, I haven't gone through my harem training yet, but you know, I'm gonna learn pretty soon. Like I see that you're being racist and I'm not gonna let you hurt me. And he says something along the lines of, did you get your camel yet? And he's like, no, I'm just gonna, and you know, Cloud being a good sport in the face of a racist, he goes, no, I'm just gonna borrow my dad's. He's gonna teach me how to ride his camel, whatever he says. Throughout the show, we learn that Maria is Italian and Chinese. So he turns his racism to Maria and goes, well, don't lend your, I'm just gonna put the clip right here.
Good for him. Just make sure you don't lend it to Maria.
Why?
Well, everyone knows the Chinese are such bad drivers. I'd sure hate to see him steering a camel.
Grampy says that and goes back into the house. Maria's like, Sharon, are you not gonna say anything to your grandfather about how racist he just was? And Sharon just looks at her grandfather and goes, oh, Grampy, like, haha, look at the cute racist old man. He didn't mean it, he's just joking. And as Maria walks away, Sharon, well, the narration of Sharon's voice comes over the screen and she says something to the effect of, I hope Maria can realize that Grampy is just joking, and hopefully Maria can take a joke. Sharon, your grandfather is racist. This is a great opportunity for the writers to shift the plot from this inner turmoil of how do I defend my friend but also and maintain a relationship with him and try to correct his ways. However, the writers, and I couldn't find who wrote this episode, but the writers take the opportunity to say, let's make this about Sharon and about how is racism hereditary? If my grandfather is racist, am I also racist? And I think that was the first big mistake of this episode. I think they had an opportunity to make it like an educational moment about how you should support your friends and support, as white people, you should be an ally to black and brown people when they say something is racist and I need you to be behind me because they won't listen to me when I speak about it, and being an extra voice when their voices aren't heard to, am I racist? Girl. So in the next scene, the girls are back at school and, you know, Maria's in her locker getting her, Sharon approaches her and goes, hey, I hope you know that my grandfather was only joking and I wouldn't want you to be, you know, offended because of any of the things that he had said. And Maria's like, your grandfather is racist. And Sharon's like, no, he was just joking. Like, he loves Italians. He was just making Italian food last night. And Maria says something that I think was super progressive for a 2002 cartoon. This episode aired October 2002. So they're making a episode about racism towards Middle Eastern people in 2002, a year after 9/11. And Maria says something super progressive that I think not a lot of people think about. It's like the I have a black friend mentality. I'm gonna insert the clip.
Italian. He loves Italians. Yesterday he was making spaghetti and singing opera. That just means he loves spaghetti and opera, not Italians.
And Maria says, if my grandfather said stuff like that, I wouldn't be defending him. Maria is the light of this episode. She is the voice of reason. She is the queen that we need in this episode. And they decided to write Sharon as like an idiot for this episode. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So in the next scene, it is the same day and it's lunchtime. They're in the cafeteria. Cloud has on his headphones. He's jamming, listening to his music, like having a good time. And Sharon, who is notoriously clumsy throughout the whole series, she has been a klutz. She bumps into Cloud and she shouts, "You act like you own the place." Sharon, you were just making a case about how you're not racist. And that's what you shout at him? Mind you, this episode aired 1 year and 1 month after 9/11. And Sharon's friend Dion, he's like, come on, like, let's get you cleaned up. Like, cause she spilled her spaghetti or whatever the fuck it was. She spilled her spaghetti all over herself and he's like, come on, let's get you cleaned up. Like, you were right to yell at him like that. He shouldn't have been, you know, playing with his basketball and not paying attention and listening to his music in the cafeteria anyway. And Sharon's like, okay, I guess. But it was partially my fault because I wasn't paying attention either. And Dion's like, yeah, okay, let's go get you cleaned up. They're in the fashion part of the school. Sharon's like, I don't want Cloud to think that I, you know, got angry with him and yelled at him because I'm a racist. And Dion goes, well, Maria is, well, you're half Jewish. Maria's Italian and whatever I said before. Italian and Chinese. Brock, their other friend, is black. Your friend group is so diverse. If you were a racist, wouldn't you have a problem with all these different kind of people in your circle? And Sharon's like, yeah, I guess so. So she's talking to her brothers, her older brother Aaron? I'm pretty sure his name's Aaron. So she's explaining the situation and what Grampy had said to Maria and Cloud, and Aaron writes it off as, you know, old people are funny like that. He's nice most of the time, and I just think you're being overly sensitive. And Sharon's like, what? I'm just confused. And I don't think she should be confused because there's a racist in your house, babe, and you saw him be racist. And you know he's closed-minded because of his views on your vegetarianism. Why are you so confused? So they cut to the bowling alley. Maria and Cloud and Brock, Alden, and Sharon are all at the bowling alley bowling, and Cloud's cousin Ali is there. Cloud is like, hey, this is my cousin Ali. He's gonna be joining us today, and there's no problems, everything's fine. So they start to bowl, and Cloud is like, oh, Maria, I don't think you should be using a 10-pound ball. That's too heavy for you. Why don't you use that one instead? And Sharon opens her mouth and she's like, well, Maria's a great bowler. She's always used a 10-pound ball. And he's like, I'm just trying to look out for you, babe. Like, so the episode shifts once again. First it was my grandfather is racist to am I racist because he's racist, and now it's Cloud is being an asshole, which he kind of was. I'm not denying that he was being an asshole, but that's not what this is about. So Maria takes her shot or whatever. What is it called when you roll the ball down the thing? Is it called taking a shot? Whatever. She rolls the ball. She knocks down the right amount of pins or whatever. I don't fucking know about bowling. And he's like, good job, babe. And he kisses her on the cheek. And Maria's like, I don't like PDA. Like, it makes me uncomfortable. And he's like, it's fine. No one's watching us. But she just said she was uncomfortable. So, walking home from the bowling alley. And Maria's telling this story about because Maria's super athletic. She is telling us this story about a game she had played in recently. And they're just having a nice conversation, and Cloud cuts in and he's like, oh, well, this is my story about whatever. And Sharon's like, well, Maria was talking. And he goes, and Maria's like, oh, no, it's fine. Like, I was finished. And she clearly wasn't finished telling the story. And Sharon is just like, dude, this guy kind of sucks. And he does suck. But once again, that's not what this is about. So the girls get home, and the next day they're at the mall shopping. Sharon is like, hey, Maria, I don't think I like Cloud very much. Like, it seems like he's kind of trying to change who you are. Because Maria wanted to buy a dress, but she usually doesn't wear dresses, but she knows that Cloud likes when she wears them. And she just wanted to buy a new dress, so that whatever. And Sharon, she's like, I think that Cloud might be trying to change who you are. And she's like, no, we like each other, and sometimes you just do things for your boyfriend like this. Like, I know he likes me in dresses, so I'm gonna get a dress. Like, why not? It's not the biggest thing in the world. Sharon's like, well, I think he's just controlling. I don't like him. And Maria's like, do you like him? Do you not like him because he's controlling, or does this go back to that whole harem comment that your grandfather made? And do you not like him because he's different? She's like, and Sharon's like, well, all my friends are different. And he's like, well, none of your friends are Arab. I think you don't like him because he's Arab. And then it's like, am I racist? Like, why is this focus on Sharon? So they get back from the mall. Sharon is at home sitting on the couch with her grandfather, and he has marshmallows. And he's like, Sharon, do you want one? And she's like, no, I don't eat marshmallows. And he's like, why? There's no meat in these. And she's like, well, there's pig byproducts in the gelatin, which makes the marshmallows. And he's like, ugh, you're crazy. And she's like, why are you so judgmental? Like, why are you always saying these things about people who are different than you? And he goes, well, because it's fact. He's like, well, I don't like what you said to Cloud and Maria about the camel thing and her not being able to drive. I'm gonna do my liner and come back. And he's like, well, it's true. Asians don't know how to drive because their driving rules are different over there. And she's like, what about the Asians who are born in this country? Like, why wouldn't they be able to drive? And he's like, well, when they come over here from their countries, it's different for them, and they teach their children how to drive the way that they learned how to drive in Asia. And that's why all Asians are bad drivers. And he's like, well, you can be judgmental too sometimes. Like, it's not just me. And Sharon's like, if I am judgmental, if I am racist, I got it from you. And he says this.
Me? My family came over from England 300 years ago, and I let your mother marry a rock drummer. And a Jew, no less.
I can't believe you just said that.
And she storms into her mother's office, and she's yelling at her mom, and she's like, Grampy is racist. And her mom's just like, Sharon, he's my dad, and I love him. He's my father, and I love him. And he comes from a small town, and that's just how they think of things over there. She says, you know, my father isn't perfect, but I don't think he's intentionally racist. And Sharon storms out, and she says, I don't know that that's good enough. Sharon and Cloud's cousin Ollie, and Cloud and Maria are on the track. And as Maria's running, like, Cloud is like, come on, you got this, you can do better, come on, let's get it, let's get it. And Sharon is with her dog talking to Ollie. Ollie is like, you don't really like Cloud, do you? And Sharon's like, well, no, I don't like how he talks to Maria, and I don't know, he's not that good of a guy. And Sharon's like, wow, like, I can't believe that you guys are even in the same family. And he's like, you know, family's different like that sometimes. He's like, a lot of families are different, and you just have to accept them for how they are. Now I know you know where this is going. And Sharon's like, and that's when it hit me. You know, sometimes families are different, and there's nothing you can do about it. Remember like 30 seconds ago when you were talking to your mom about her racist father and you said that's not a good enough excuse? I don't hate Cloud because he's Arab. I hate him because he's a jerk. And I'm like, what is happening here? Why are we excusing racism right now? Are we accepting the fact that our family can be racist and there's nothing? Is that what we're teaching children? Is that your family can be racist and awful, and that's just how they are, and that's okay because family is different? That's what you're trying to teach children right now? I wish I could find the writers of this episode. I really do, but I couldn't find it. Maybe I didn't look hard enough. I literally just went to the Wikipedia page. That's what you decided to teach the youth of Canada? That sometimes your family is just racist, and that's okay? Like, you're fucking weird. That's weird. So in the final scene of this episode, they get back from the park, and Maria knocks on the door, and she goes, I broke up with Cloud. He was nice, giving me gifts and everything, but he was controlling, and I'm sorry I doubted you when you told me that he was controlling. And I'm like, what is this? What is this? Honestly, I didn't watch past this part because it's like the last 30 seconds. But I assume they did some stupid, super girly stuff and like, let's eat some ice cream to soothe the pain of your breakup. And then it fades to black. And the lesson here is families are different. And sometimes that difference is racism. And that's okay. So I did my lashes and my lips because there's no way that was getting done on camera. I think the writers could have used this episode as a way to teach kids like, hey, it's okay to disagree with the adults in your family and possibly cut them off if they're not willing to change their racist ways. It was an opportunity to say, hey, when Black and brown people are talking about racism, listen and not make it about yourself. But instead, it was, is racism hereditary? This guy is an asshole, so it's okay for me to not like him. and say, but I still said racist shit, because in the cafeteria, you act like you own the place. Don't say that. It's okay to accept your racist family members. So all around, this episode was trash. Just trash. I think it's a good show, but this episode was just awful. Just awful. So I think that's it. I hate when I finally adjust my lighting at the end of my video and it looks so much better than what I did originally. I want to say thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you guys like this new series that I'm doing, because I do have a passion for both cartoons and makeup, and I wanted to find a way to, like, you know. So thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully if I get a good reception to this one, I'll keep doing them.